Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Tampa Honda, of course, in Tampa, Florida. And guess what? We have Honda's largest vehicle that they currently sell in the United States right next to me. What is it? It's a 2024 Honda Pilot. This particular one is the Touring trim, and you'll notice that we have some bronze goodies added to this one. But before we get into this mid-size 3-row SUV from Honda, let's talk about what's going on here. A lot of competition. I keep talking about the fierce competition in the mid-size 3-row SUV segment. It's like the Roman gladiator days of battling. Well, maybe it's not that bad, but it's pretty intense, especially when you look at game changers like the Kia Telluride, the Hyundai Palisade, and we can't forget that sexy looking CX-90. Now, what's fascinating is there's a lot of others that I did not mention that are still going for the #1 goal of being that class-leading mid-size 3-row SUV. But what I want to find out is, I want to look at one of the top dogs. Does this Honda Pilot Touring, is this the better way to go over a Kia Telluride? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one, see what's different, because there are a couple unique touches on this one, and I want to find out, is this the best new 3-row mid-size SUV to buy? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the color. It's called Modern Steel Metallic. I like it. It gives it a nice flash of sparkle. There's a lot of metallic metal flake in it, but it's not like super bland. It's got a nice balance. At the front of the business, you'll see those changes that have happened to the Pilot still continuing on this Touring trim. So you're gonna have your full LED headlights, LED turn signals, and LED daytime running lamps. On the Touring trim, you're gonna get a little bit of a chrome brow. And remember, the Touring trim is no longer the top trim, it's actually Elite. Now, as we drop down to ground level, a little bit more chrome finish, functional corner air curtains. I like to see that. Some flat black and actual LED fog lamps. So nice to see them bringing functionality and superior lighting to the front of the vehicle. Now, if you compare this part to a Telluride, Telluride pretty much follows the same path. Functionality with some corner air curtains and, of course, full LED lighting and fog lamps. One of the things that I do like a little bit more on the Pilot is I like the way they have these aggressive angles that kind of give it a little bit more muscular look rather than rounded like a minivan, like a Honda Odyssey. I do like that. Now, when we come across that new large and in charge grille, you're gonna have gloss black, fully functional, no forward-facing camera on the Touring trim. You gotta go up to Elite for that. Down below, you are gonna have flat black on the lower grille area and this satin metallic silver. But definitely the changes that they made makes this fall more into line perfectly with the smaller CR-V, of course the HR-V, and their sedans that they still sell, and hatchback, the Civic hatchback. But let me know if you prefer this front grille and fascia more over the Telluride, or if you like the Telluride better. Now, as we take the elevator up, nice big bold hood, you're just gonna have a simple rise of a body line that evaporates right here. It disappears as you get towards the windshield. We come around the bend, let's get to the big talking point. This is one of the reasons why I chose this vehicle here at Tampa Honda to show you are these wheels. These are optional HPD wheels, Honda Performance Development wheels. Love that bronze copper finish, even gloss black on the lug nuts, just to give it that finished, complete look. There are a lot of vehicles out there that when you go with an optional wheel, they make you use the same lug nuts and they're just chrome. Nice to see the gloss black, and you have a wheel lock, so somebody isn't gonna steal these optional wheels. The package actually comes with the wheels and one other thing that I'll show you in a few seconds. But let me know if you're digging. I'm digging the bronze copper finish, especially with the modern steel color. Let me know if you like that in the comment section. Tires are obviously 20 inches because it's a 20-inch wheel, 20-inch tire, 255 on the width, 50 series sidewall, and that's all four corners. You're gonna get that same size. The one zonk that I have, because this is the touring trim, is I would like to have this fender opening painted the same color. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. And don't forget to tell me how you feel about these wheels. I'm digging them. Now coming down the side, color match on the mirror caps. You have your slim and trim turn signals. And then up top, we have gloss black raised roof rails. You can get your crossbars, put a cargo carrier up there, put a kayak carrier, whatever you're gonna carry, you could throw up there. On the touring trim, just a little bit of shiny metal work along the bottom of the side windows. I'm glad it doesn't go all the way around. That would look too gaudy. And then the other thing that comes with the wheels are these specific side skirts or side sill extensions. These have that satin silver finish like on the front lower portion of the front fascia. You're gonna have that little bit of extra kind of cohesive touch. Let me know if you're digging that. But like I said, the package is the wheels and that side sill extension. Now working our way back, of course, you're gonna have color match on your door handles. They do a great job on the size of the quarter window, and I'm glad that they don't put any stupid trim around it. Makes it look really clean. And then as we swing it around back, same story. It was all about cleaning up the rear end. You got a nice long roof spoiler with your third brake light integrated cleanly. Does anybody know when the third brake light was mandated by the DOT, the Department of Transportation? Yes, you in the back eating that pizza. You are correct. 1986 is where every vehicle sold in the United States from 1986 to current has to have a third brake light from the factory. This, I'm gonna zonk. There's plenty of room to put it underneath there. That would really clean up the back, especially with the great work that they did with placement of the Honda badge. And I like the way they spell the name out, Pilot, in flat black within the gloss black trim. Gives it a nice, clean look. Of course, you gotta let people know that you went touring trim, almost the top trim. And then going all the way down to Chinatown, this is where it gets a little weird. So on this side, I'm fake. On this side, I'm functional. So we'll give it a half a zonk. That should be 2 functional exhausts. I mean, come on, let's get real. And then you'll notice that satin silver gray finish, just like on the sides, just like up front, to tie this whole thing together. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see how this compares to the Kia Telluride. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it because the good news is they actually have a service opening where you could open up the hood pretty much all the way. Now, underneath the hood, they did make some refinement changes to the V6. This is actually a different V6 than what came on the previous gen. So this is a 3.5 liter V6, 285 horsepower, 362 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now remember, the Telluride is also a V6. It's actually a 3.8 liter V6. It has a little over 290 horsepower, but it's got an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 in this Pilot is around 7 seconds. Top speed is governed to 112 miles per hour. MPGs, 19 in the city, 25 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,670 pounds, and it could tow up to 5,000 pounds. So very, very similar in performance, in MPGs, and in towing capability between the Pilot and the Telluride. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Honda Pilot touring trim with the upgraded wheels. I do like those wheels, HPD, baby. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've always had Hondas in my life. I remember back in high school, I had a beat-up Honda Civic. Didn't look like much, but it got me where I wanted to go. I actually wound up meeting my future wife. She's my high school sweetheart. Now we have 6 kids, a big fat mortgage, And I'm not made of money, but I am liking this Honda Pilot, especially this touring trim. How much is it? MSRP for this particular one is right at $50,000. Let's see how it compares to the Kia Telluride. To the door panels. I like this simple, clean style. Soft touch material up top, a little bit of gloss black, but you're really not going to be touching that area unless there's something wrong with you. Metallic silver trim right above it. Soft touch in the center of the door, the armrest and the door panel. No gloss black around the switchgear. Love the way they have a scone holder there. So you could easily put 4 scones, nice and easy in that center area, a cup of joe, and a door pocket that you could probably get, I would say, a pick 2 from Mickey D's, the 2 cheeseburgers and a small fry. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, love the material, love the way they brought more stitching and more compartments. This is going to be your Twinkie tray, and what's great about it is you could actually double stack your Twinkies without busting cream all over this beautiful interior. So easily 24 Twinkies will go in there. You come on in, what do we have? Crazy to think that they didn't offer their 12.3-inch infotainment system that they have in the Accord. They don't have it in the Pilot. So this is your entertainment system. This is that 9-inch infotainment system. Works great. You do have your navigation, Apple wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. There's your navigation that comes up. You got all the usual apps and icons, and you can move them around very easily. And I like the fact that you got a real volume knob. I'm going to put the vehicle into reverse with that 10-speed automatic. I need better resolution. I desire better resolution from that backup camera, but it's easy to change the angles, which are kind of nice. And you can see it's full touchscreen. Working your way down. Touring gets 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, but you do get the dual climate, and I love the AC controls. Nice click action. You do have a place for 4 boxes of Tic Tacs for those that have smelly breath, USB-A, USB-C, and a 12-volt, wireless charging, and a place for 3 king-size 3 Musketeers. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic transmission. You do have hill descent control and different drive modes, which I'll show you when you come to the business end. 2 cup holders. And then there's your Honda key fob. Clean, simple, just like the vehicle. Love the way they widened the armrest here with the stitching. Open it up. Wow, look at that space in there. You could put, I would say, 14 boxes of movie candy in there. So get some Good and Plenty, some Jujubes, some Snow Caps, some Reese's Pieces, and you could keep those in there. So when you take the kids to the movie, because you are tight on money, you're not made of money, you could go to the dollar store, get the candy in there, so that you don't have to pay $20 per box at the movie theater. Don't be ashamed. I've done that my whole childhood, and even some of my adult life, I've done that. Seats. Love the leather style material. A little bit of trim in here just to kind of spruce it up. Comfortable bolstering. You have power adjustments for the passenger, power adjustments for the driver. That kind of makes sense. And then a panoramic sunroof with a power shade. So they got you covered there. Vitamin D, Sunny D for everybody. But why don't you come over here? I want to show you behind the wheel of this new Pilot. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings. This does have all weather floor mats with the Pilot name. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. And then you have your seat controls. Easy to adjust. I love the way they have the lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall. Feels great in here. Really, really does. Steering wheel. Honda does some of the best steering wheels in the business. I like the thickness, the stitching, a little bit of silver, flat black on the switchgear. You do have paddles to go up and down the 10-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have your dash. So you have your small digital display. Yes, I need to go get some fuel before we go on throttle, which I'll be doing that in a few moments, don't you worry. But what's nice is you could scroll through a cornucopia of information in that center display, which is nice because it's a 7-inch digital display. You could even bring up your navigation there, which is nice. I wish for the price it was all digital. That's just me. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. And no head-up display, 50 G's. Let's get in the mid-row though and see if your passengers are gonna be happy that you went Pilot over Telluride. Let's check it out. All right guys, mid-row time, and what you're gonna get is basically a captain's chair set up in here. The one thing that's kind of weird though is that the captain's chairs don't have an armrest. That's kind of weird. I am gonna have to zonk that, even though I would have zonked the armrest anyways because they're real small usually on Hondas. But where is the center armrest? I think we need the removable center console. I think that is missing right now, but we'll track that down for you. Backs of the seats, the leather style material, nice large pockets. Put an abacus in there, a back scratcher. This little thing right here, this is for your phone. So you don't drop your phone in here. This is like a bottomless pit. You can put your phone right in there. And then, of course, we have a nice little command center. The AC vents, the AC controls, 2 USB-Cs. I'm 6 feet tall, like I said, and I got plenty of room here. Obviously, the seats slide, which is great. And I'll slide it all the way forward just to show you what it looks like forward. And the seats do recline a bit. Now, the reason why I put the seat all the way forward is I want to get into the third row. First of all, how do we do that? You push the button on the back of the seat. Ooh, look how easy that was. I like the way you have some real estate down there for your kids' feet so they don't rip up the carpet. And then getting into the third row, it's actually not too bad. I actually like it back here better than the Telluride. My knees are not as high as the Telluride. I like the way they made the seats look very similar to the rest of the three of the other rows, which are good. I have my AC vents, and there's USB-Cs, 2 cup holders. I actually feel pretty good back here. Not too shabby. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that cargo area and see how much we could haul in this Pilot. All right guys, cargo area time, real simple, just hit the button. Nice electric assist on this particular touring trim. What you're gonna be greeted to is 19 cubic feet of space. Now here's some of the smart Honda engineering. I like the way they have this nook here. This is perfect for a gallon of Yoo-hoo. You also have 12 volt for when you're camping, tailgating, maybe you're at the beach. And then on the other side, you're gonna have your subwoofer to that sound system. So you're gonna get your thump-a-thump-thump, and you got your Twinkie tray. 3 Twinkies slide perfectly in there. Now to get the seats to fold down, it's so simple. I could do it blindfolded. Look, I'm not even gonna have my eyes open. My eyes are technically closed right now. So there you go. Third row is nice and flat. Steven's gonna show off what I was talking about in the third row. You got a USB-C and AC vents on both sides. Show them, Steven. Show them on both sides. And then of course that mid-row will also go down as well. So right now you're looking at 49 cubic feet of space. Fold down the mid-row, that gives you 87 cubic feet of space. And watch this. Let's say you have some messy kids. I think that kind of goes hand in hand. If you have kids, they're messy. You have all weather protection back here to keep this carpeted area nice and clean. And guess what? It's got the Pilot name. Plus, look at all the storage. They actually have the floor mats in there. That's how much room is in there. The one thing that sucks, that's a zonk, is you can't use it as a cooler because there's carpet in there. Why wouldn't they make that a cooler? That would be smart, but you could put easily, I would say 21 boxes of Twinkies in there. So you got plenty of Twinkies for wherever you're going. Put that underneath, lock it down, zip it up, hit the button. If you're ready, I'm freaking ready. Let's go on throttle in this Honda Pilot. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Honda Pilot. And right away, you're gonna love just how much they've changed from the previous generation to this one. The way everything is laid out, it really makes sense. And I kind of like the way it looks good, but it's not like something you can't use day in and day out because you're afraid something's gonna get scratched on the interior or something like that. I feel like it's a nice, rugged, durable, but also tastefully done interior. Now, when it comes to driving dynamics, like I said, you have that drive mode selector switch, sport, normal, econ, snow, and tow. So they got you covered much differently than they ever have in the Honda Pilot. We're gonna go ahead and put it into sport mode, and that's gonna change obviously how the transmission and the engine behave with one another. steering sensitivity and throttle sensitivity. But it's nice to have a naturally aspirated V6, just like the Telluride. But remember, some of the competition is switching from their V6s and they're going turbocharged with their power plants. And they do a good job of the sound deadening material and also the thickness of the glass in here to make it a pleasurable driving experience. The 10-speed automatic shifts really, really well, actually better than the 8-speed that's in the Telluride. And I really like the way they have the suspension tuning on the Pilot. It handles well, but it also feels good when you're driving on longer highway roads. But I'm gonna come to a stop here and we're gonna go on throttle. Are you ready? I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So a little bit of spinning of the tires because this is front wheel drive. You can get all-wheel drive in your Pilot, and it's one of those things that I would recommend it. Not only if you live up north, of course, where it snows, but also down here in the southern states with rain and sand and dirt in the roads. As you can see, traction could be very limited. But that is something that, like I said, it has the torque, and the torque is very linear in this vehicle, but with it being only front wheel drive, you are going to be struggling a little bit with grip. But going over this ripped up road, rides very smooth. The seats are super comfy. And me personally, I like an all black interior, especially if you have kids. That's going to cut down on just how dirty everything is going to look on a day-to-day basis. But very, very smooth. And then, of course, you have all that great cargo space. And you have the Honda reliability. Remember, that's another important thing for many, many people, is having that reliability from Honda. But we're going to actually go around and around in this roundabout here. And just really easy to drive. If you're stepping up from a CR-V, it isn't going to feel as big as you think. And I think that's what's going to help with the overall driving experience in this Honda Pilot, is just, it doesn't feel massive. And I think that's a very, very good thing. Of course, you got plenty of passenger volume in here, especially the cargo volume when you fold down all 3 rows. Getting to the infotainment system, well within reach. You got your navigation. I know it's not a 52-inch screen like you find on some of the competition, but it's large enough and it gets the job done. I personally don't need ginormous screens. Some people do, and if that's your thing, that's fine. But for me, I prefer this smaller size screen. And with it being an iPad style, it doesn't protrude too high to where it's blocking my view whatsoever out the front of the vehicle. But really just a well-behaved, well-thought-out, mid-size 3-row SUV. And it makes sense, right? I mean, it's a Honda product. The Pilot's been around for a while. And then, of course, like I said, the drivability. Let's go on throttle one more time. I'm actually going to put it in normal and see if we break loose on the traction. On throttle. Much better. Much, much better. So, Sport, like I said, you're adjusting that throttle sensitivity and everything, and that's where we got some tire slippage. But in normal, she just grabbed on this dry road. So that was good to show you the difference. And it's nice when the modes have that different personality to them, which is great. But even going over those speed humps, everything is rock solid in this vehicle. And I think no matter if you're sitting in the front, the mid row, or the third row, your passengers are going to feel good that you went with this Honda product, especially with the Bose sound system, 12 speaker Bose sound system. Everywhere you touch, it's very comfortable, and then tons of storage. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of this Honda Pilot. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. It's been another great day here at Tampa Honda. Definitely gotta thank Sam and the rest of the crew getting us this Pilot, but with some special touches to it. Obviously talking about those wheels, I love them. But let me know what you think. Are you gonna go Honda Pilot, a little bit more tried and true when it comes to reliability and resale value? Or are you gonna go with the Kia Telluride? Let me know down in that comment section, but if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta give it up to Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography. I'm out here wearing shorts. He's all bundled up in a winter coat, a hat, and earmuffs. So let him know that you'll keep him warm at night by giving Stephen a big old hug in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.